Welcome back to Freed from Cult Life. It's your boy Tim, and I'm excited to be here again for another video. And this video is a unique one because I love hearing how people leave the religion. I love the different stories. And this one is unique. Not most people leave in this way on how this guy here left the religion. I encourage you to stay tuned, pay attention, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm not going to hold up any further. Let's get to it. I'm introducing Mr. Jeron Benton.
All right, we got Jeron in the building, y'all. Welcome to the channel. And today, let's get into a little conversation with someone who's been a witness before, who left the religion and found out the truth about it. And kind of, as I like to compare it to, like the Wizard of Oz, when you put a veil back and you see who really making the controls. It's not really all that powerful. It's just another guy just pulling the strings. So, Jeron, man, welcome to the channel, man. Man, we chopped up a little bit before, but we finally got to sit down, make some time. But I want to ask you first, man. First, how did you become involved with Jehovah's Witnesses?
So born and raised, third generation from my father's side. I'm second generation from my mom's side. Yeah, born and raised. I got two younger brothers in it. One brother he's an elder in Miami right now. The other's in New York with my mom. And yeah, I became an active. I'm sorry, I got baptized. I got baptized at the age of 13. As we know, way too young, right?
Yeah.
Sign a lifelong contract. But anyway, baptized at the age of 13, and became inactive twice. The first time I left, I was around what, 17, 18.
Okay.
Then I came back in my mid-20s for a few years, and yeah, the second time I tried to come back, that's when I found. I think we were speaking about this, how there's so much corruption in the within the organization among elders, and that actually woke me up. That woke me up in the process. So yeah.
Yeah, you got an interesting story because not too many people. I'm sure it's been done before, but it's rare when. So you purposely came back as an
Exactly.
apostate, right?
Yep.
And they
Exactly.
reinstated you when you really didn't believe in it, just to
Hell no.
prove that ain't no Holy Spirit behind this, right? Explain that a little bit.
Exactly. So when the elders, the fellowship me, right? Well, it was one elder in particular, the coordinator in the congregation. The way that they went about it, I realized that I said, "Oh shoot, this is all man-made. These men are just making up stuff as they go. They get to abuse their power. As we know, it's a kangaroo court when you have the judicial meeting, right? They're not talking to God. They pretend like they're praying to God. They feel like they got the answers from God, and it's crazy how I was sincerely repentant, right? When I spoke to these elders during the judicial. I was sincerely repentant. I changed my entire life around. And I'm thinking that these elders would be happy, if anything, that I came back to Jehovah, because they always encourage inactive ones to repent, turn away from your wicked ways, and you come back to the organization, right? I did that, and I still got fellowship. So I said to myself, I said, hold on. When I realized that the elders were trying to abuse their power and falsely defellowship me, it's like I was waking up before I officially, I was waking up before I officially woke up. So before I did my research, I realized that, hey, something that's not right in this organization. There's so much corruption with the elders. I said, you know what? That encouraged me to do my research, right? And I said, I'm gonna do something that no other apostate has ever done. I'm gonna allow these elders to reinstate me, because when they falsely defellowship me, they said, "Oh, we prayed about this. This answer's from Jehovah," right? So I said, okay. I said, let me fall back. I said, I'm gonna let them do the same thing in reverse. I'm gonna let them reinstate me and say, oh, this is from Jehovah, and then I'm gonna expose them. And that's exactly what I did.
Wow. Yeah, that when I heard your story like that, I thought that was something, man, because my first experience was something like that as far as Holy Spirit, because all witnesses are taught that when the elders make decisions or even like appointments, right? When they appoint you as a minister, servant, or elder, that Holy Spirit does it. So when I got appointed as a ministerial servant, I was completely shocked, because I'm like, I don't know how I got appointed as a servant, bro, because I got some sins I ain't never confessed about. You know what I mean? I had some years prior, I had I was a double lifer a little bit, being a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't tell on the sins I had, never told nobody. So my first thought was like, how did I get appointed? Because Holy Spirit is supposed to be doing this. You know what I mean? That was my first red flag right there. Like, man, but I dismissed it. I dismissed it, and just thought like, well, oh well, it is what it is. I still ain't telling nobody nothing. But
Yeah.
so when you start doing research, where did you start at? How did you do that? What did you go about
So I
finding that
Googled,
information?
yeah, what did I Google first? I Googled falsely the fellowship on online,
Okay.
right? Because
Yeah.
I wanted to see if there's other people who are in my situation, right? Because you don't hear about other, you only hear one side of the story. The only side you hear is the elder side, whether they you or they put you on reproof, right?
Reproof. Yep. Yep.
You don't hear the other person's side of the story, right? So
Never.
I said to myself, there's got to be other people out there who was forced into fellowship. There has to be, right? So as I did that, it took me to all these apostate YouTube sites. I said, oh shit. I'm starting to get nervous, right? My heart beating fast, my palms getting sweaty. But I finally I gave myself permission to do some research, right? And I think I started also at JW.facts. JWFacts.com.
JWFacts.com.
Yeah,
Yeah.
JWFacts.com. What's the name? Critical thinkers.
Oh yeah.
JT and Lady
JT and
C.
Lady C. Yep.
Exactly. So I just allowed myself to do some research, and what really did it for me though, bro? Jeffrey Jackson, Australian Royal Commission. When he lied under oath,
Yeah.
I woke up like that, bro.
Yeah.
That was the straw that broke the camel's back. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. I was already waking up before that, prior to that, right? But
Right.
when you see a governing body leader lying under oath, it's done.
Yeah.
It's not coming back to that,
That was huge, man. I ain't gonna lie. When I watched that Royal Commission, because for me, that was one of the biggest things too. It was the United Nations first. I dug into that for a while. I kind of just did all my research on that, read books on that, and found out and confirmed like this really happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They fell with the United Nations, and then the Australia Royal Commission. I watched that whole proceeding, bro.
That's in 3 hours, right?
it took me a couple weeks, huh?
It's 3 hours altogether, right? The whole, how long is it?
I forgot how many hours it was, but it took me a while to literally watch it all because I was
Mm,
watching the proceedings and I wanted to find a channel that wasn't biased. I just wanted to watch it from a channel
exactly.
unbiased so people can't say, oh, this is just a apostate talking.
Apostate. Yep.
Nah, bro, this
No.
really happened. And when that
Nope.
man sat there and said, when they asked him, are you God's spokesman on earth? Now, come on now. You ask any witness right now, are
Yep.
you guys God's spokesman on earth? They're going to be like, yes, we are.
Yep.
But that
Exactly.
man sat there, like you said, he lied and said it would be presumptuous
Yep.
to think that we were the only ones speaking for God. Now, to me, this is why isn't that on JW org, that org news section?
Exactly. Right.
Why isn't that on the news section, right? Why that was a big deal, the Australia Royal Commission, and it was nowhere to be found on the website. I remember looking for it, searching all kind of keywords for it.
Mm-mm.
Nowhere will you find it, bro. Nowhere will you find Australia Royal Commission on their website. Now, again, for me, that was the biggest because when I woke up, I got kids. And that was just the tip of the iceberg. Australia Royal Commission, a lot of people don't know, that's just the tip of the iceberg, man. That was a big tip. But when you start researching and find out about the lawsuits here in the United States,
Yeah.
over in Europe, all around the world, all these pedophiles are running around. Man,
Yep.
it's an eye opener. It definitely is an eye opener, man. Yeah, for real.
It is. And
Matter of
even
fact,
let me piggyback on that too.
go ahead.
So even in Australia, right? There's like I think there's over 1,000 cases that went unreported.
Yeah.
Unreported to authorities. And it's like, how is this supposed to be the true religion? Well, you got, like you said, you got elders who are pedophiles. They're not giving the information to the proper authorities. You're hiding it. How is this? How are elders and minister servants pedophiles when, like you said earlier, they're supposed to be Jehovah's supposedly supposed to be handpicking these people, right? Right.
Yeah, the majority of them are the ones in power. That's what I've learned too. That the majority, like right now, there's a case in Pennsylvania of
Yeah.
about maybe 12 to 14. One has got sentenced. One took his unalived himself, and there's about a ring of about I'm gonna just say 12 to 14 elders
I heard
who
about
are
that. Yeah.
part of a ring of child abuse. And man, I'm telling you, it's coming to light more and more and more, and people are coming out with it. I got here too. I've kept this. This is something I printed up after that Royal Commission. And this is undeniable because the Royal Commission themselves said, they said, we do not consider, I'm gonna read just a quote of it, just a part of it. It
Yeah.
says, we do not consider the Jehovah's Witness organization to be an organization which responds adequately to CSA. I'm gonna say CSA.
Yeah.
You know what, everybody know what it means. Um, it says the organization's general practice of not reporting serious instances of CSA to police or authorities, in particular where the complainant is a child, demonstrates a serious failure by the organization to provide for the safety and protection of children in the organization and in the community. Like this is from Caesar, right? They say obey Caesar, give
Exactly.
God save the
Yep.
gods. You know what I'm saying? They recognize that they do not adequately, it says in particular with children, bro. That right there, that really bothers me a lot.
Of course. Yeah. Especially you having 2 kids. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and having
Of
kids
course.
too. You know, I think in my opinion, the worst crime in the world, I mean, murder's bad, you know, any kind of assault is bad, but when you mess with children, to me,
Exactly.
that's man,
And
that's the
that's
worst.
all. Exactly. And then you scar them for life by doing it.
Yeah,
For life.
exactly.
You know?
That's right. You take away their life, man. Like they have to live with that forever and get help for it and all that kind of stuff. And so for those who have endured that, anybody here watching and who has endured that and got past that, big props to you. And that's one of my biggest reasons for having the YouTube channel is to bring awareness and expose and bring more voices to the leaders of this religion because
Yep.
the people don't make the rules up. They just follow it like the Pied Piper, right? They just follow what the leaders say. And the leaders to me
Exactly.
are the ones that are to be held responsible for these gross man.
The crimes. They're
Yeah, man, the
crimes.
crimes, bro. They are crimes for real. And to know about it. They know about them.
Exactly. They don't
Like
care.
you said, when the elders book, that what do? They're not told to go to the authorities. They're told to report this immediately to the legal department
Exactly.
in New York. Now,
To the branch. Yeah.
Now, coming up, how did you like coming up as a kid? You say you were born and raised in it, so was I. What was your mindset growing up? Did you enjoy going to field service? Did you enjoy going to
Oh
meetings, conventions,
hell
and all
no,
that?
bro.
You didn't even
Hell
like
no.
it, huh?
No, not at all, bro. My childhood, we spoke about this too the other day, also briefly, how like and I felt like my childhood was stolen, bro. I didn't have a proper childhood, you know? And I thought a lot of times people grow up, they have I call it the Michael Jackson syndrome. So you know how Michael Jackson, when he grew up, he was like he still had that the mindset of a kid. His mentality
Yeah,
was
yeah,
of a youth, right? Because he didn't enjoy his childhood. He was too busy singing and being a pop star when he was young. So as an adult, he's playing with monkeys and he's Ferris go rounds and whatnot, right? He had the mindset of a kid. And it's like
yeah,
when you leave the cult, you know, I feel like so much of my childhood was missing. And it's like it's funny, when I was in Australia, right? Just a few weeks ago, last week, um, I was watching I was like catching up on 90s Disney movies, bro. It was like the nostalgic feeling, you know, watching Aladdin and all these other movies. And it's like I said to myself, I said, damn, I really missed out on my childhood. I missed out on that.
yeah.
You
I
know,
got
but
clients sometime. Go
yes,
ahead. I'm sorry.
no, my bad, my bad.
Now I'm gonna say I got clients sometime. You know, I cut here and I got clients sometime who they ask me questions about stuff. They like, you never seen this or like the Goonies and you know Ghostbusters and all that. I'm like, nah, bro, I never.
Uh,
You know, I missed out on that. I couldn't see none of that. You know, I couldn't even watch the Smurfs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you miss out on a lot of stuff, like you said. And honestly, I feel like you develop late. You
yeah,
develop late
hell yeah.
because you're held back so much. You're in a bubble.
Yep,
You're confined to this bubble your whole life, and
exactly.
outside that bubble was danger. So you never wanted to step out of it. Like you said, when you got on YouTube or start going research about it, it's like you see apostate stuff. It's almost like you start getting nervous. Your heart start beating faster because
Yeah,
you've been programmed to think that you can't look at this stuff.
exactly.
And
Yep,
now I see why they don't want you looking at it. Because once you find out this stuff, you be like, man, I can't.
you're
What
done.
in the world am I in?
Exactly. You're done. Like once you do your research, right? It's nearly impossible to not wake up. You're gonna wake up. I haven't met not one person who's done a research and say, "Oh, this is all imposter lies." Let me go back to this. No, like initially, because that's what I did initially, right? At first, I said, "Oh shoot, this is apostate lies. Let me be careful." But the more research you do, the less program you become.
For
Right?
sure.
The less brainwashed you become. And like I said, it's literally impossible to do your research and not wake up. You're gonna wake up. It's just a matter of time.
It's something that you brought that up because I can remember having conversation with people and always saying maybe about their religion, right? I mean, and for instance, this Catholic guy I used to talk to years ago when I was in prison, and it was, and not just him, but people in general. I'm always trying to get them to look at the origins of their beliefs, to do their research on what they believe, right? Research
Yep.
where Christmas come from. Research Halloween. Research, the Methodists or the Lutheran or the Catholics or whatever belief you believe. You need to do research on that and find out the origins of it. But yet, I was never really looking in the mirror. I never really did research on my own religion.
Yep.
So now any witness I come across that any kind of conversation, family or not, it's like, do the research on what you believe. Instead of telling other people to do it, do the research. And not just from, and honestly, you know what's crazy? You can do the research from just the Watchtower itself. If you just go back in time, go back to the days of Charles Russell, go back to the end, right? J.F. Rutherford, Nathan Noah, and all them. If you just study that, you'll find so many contradictions that should wake you up. But you can
Yep.
go on outside sources and find out that, wait a minute, why Jehovah's Witnesses the only ones that believe 607 BCE was the destruction of Jerusalem? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because
Yep.
that would kill their whole doctrine about 1914 and whatever.
You're right, bro. But you know what? Hold up. Honestly, I don't know if a witness could go back to the days of Charles Russell's teaching, because that might be considered apostate lies. Remember, things have changed, right? So much. Witnesses would be like, oh no, that's old light. We don't do that anymore. That's now apostate, and that makes no sense. You know what? I
Makes
never
no sense.
the whole old teachings is apostate light. That makes no sense because that came from uh, the founders of the religion. They started this, right? So how can it be the apostate lies if they're the founders came up with this?
Yeah.
I don't.
They say
That makes no
what,
sense.
1919 is when that's when supposedly Jesus cleansed the temple, came down and found his true people, 1919, right? But the teachings from 1919, if you go out right now as a Jehovah's Witness and you go out and preach about the teachings that they taught from 1919, like you said, you'll be an apostate, you'll be kicked out of there. But didn't this come from Jesus or Jehovah?
Exactly,
You know what I'm saying?
bro. The
So
logic
that's a
ain't logic,
question.
bro.
That's a question I would like witnesses to answer is, when new light comes about, or new doctrines, or new understanding, does it come from the governing body or does it come from Jehovah?
Good question, bro. But I mean, obviously, we know that comes from the governing
Oh,
body, right?
we know where it come from. Yeah, yeah.
Now, a witness might say, "Oh, this comes from Jehovah," right? And then I would say, "Didn't the governing body leader say last year or the year before? Oh, we're infallible and we're not inspired,
Yeah,
right?" So you can't have it both ways. You can't
yeah,
not be inspired and then at the same time saying you're getting direction from Jehovah. Because if
yeah.
you're getting direction from Jehovah, that means you are inspired. You better be inspired.
Plain and simple. How
So
can you
you
have communication? How can you claim to be the sole channel to God, but yet at the same time you're not inspired? It can't be, like you say, it can't be both, bro. Either God is inspiring you to say this or he isn't.
exactly, right? But there's something that witnesses say to finesse the system. They say that they're oh man, they're not inspired, but
They're
they
guided.
there we go. Exactly. They're
They're
guided
guided,
by
right?
yeah. But it's like, no, you know,
So
no.
look, we could tomorrow we could wake up and say, we can get on a platform or something and say, hey, y'all, guess what? I feel like I have a new light and I have a new I have clear understanding of the scriptures, and I want you to follow me and believe what I say. Man, you're not gonna get one follower to follow you and
Exactly.
believe. You know what I'm saying? Because it'd be like, no, you just some guy talk. Well, I mean, these guys are the same. They're imperfect men. They've admitted to being imperfect. They've admitted to
Yep.
being not inspired, but yet you follow them when in the scriptures. I'm not big on scripture, but I know they big on it. Psalms 146 something. It says, do not put your trust in men.
Yep.
Plain as day, right there in the book. Do not put your trust in men.
And let
But
me
yeah,
add to that. Sorry. Yeah.
no, the governing body, they say, trust us. You should trust
with
them.
no proof, with no proof too. It's just blind faith. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
And also, bro, Malachi 3:6. I said this quite a few times on my channel.
Oh yeah.
Malachi 3:6. I am God. I do not change.
That's right.
God doesn't change. So why is there always new light? I feel like, especially the last few years, it's like every few months there's been new light, new information,
yeah.
some adjustments. God doesn't change. Why are we adjusting things?
I looked up before on Wikipedia. You can Wikipedia development of Jehovah's Witnesses doctrines, and it'll give you a breakdown by decade: 1800s, 1900s, the 1920s, 30s. It'll give you a breakdown each decade on all the changes that have been made every single decade up till now. And so you're talking for over 100, over 100, 120 years, 130 years of changes, but yet God does not change, but they claim to follow God. And what's interesting is, for those who don't know Jehovah's Witnesses believe that there's going to be an earthwide genocide, and that if you're not following the figurehead or the God figure that the Jehovah's Witness worship, then you're going to be wiped away off this planet along with everybody else. Men, women, children, no matter who you are, all going to be dead, and only Jehovah's Witnesses are going to survive and get rewarded with a paradise earth. That's the gist of it. And when you really ponder that, just that thought itself, that just don't sound like a God that's supposed to be merciful and loving and full of kindness, loyal love, and all those attributes that they give it.
Exactly. It's not loving at all, you know? And I set this question, and right before I came out as an apostate, I spoke to a few witnesses, right? And I wanted to make them think. I was trying to plant some seeds, right? And I said this on my channel too a while ago. In terms of the preaching work, right? What's the objective? To help people to see that this is the truth, help them to come to have a good understanding of Jehovah, and help them to become a witness, right? That's why witnesses preach, right?
Yeah.
Now, in terms of effectiveness, would it be more effective if you was about to get fired from your job? Would you listen to 10 people coming up to you and saying, like 10 regular employees coming up to you and saying, "Oh, you know what? There's a lot of tardiness on your behalf. Your work ethic is not that all that great. You know, you're gonna be let go soon, right?" If you had 10 regular employees come to you and say that, would you be more inclined to listen to them, or your one manager that does all the hiring and firing? He says to you, "Hey, listen, I don't like what you're doing. I'm gonna end up letting you go if you keep it up." You're gonna listen to that manager over the 10 employees, right? Because he has more authority.
Yep.
So in terms of preaching, and I just thought about this when I was, while I was the fellowship, had a lot of thinking to do. Wouldn't it be more effective if, instead of preaching, Jehovah broadcasted his voice throughout the entire earth, in every language, every tongue, every nation? I'm Jehovah, the true God. I want everyone to get to know me. I have a paradise in store for you guys. Why does Jehovah? Wouldn't that be more effective towards saving humanity? Right?
Yeah.
So why are witnesses preaching when God could clearly use his voice to make it known that he's the true God?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Why listen to y'all who switch up, who don't really know what's going on, instead of just listening to the main man, right?
Exactly.
The main guy, the one with the authority. That's the one you listen to. Yeah.
So I mean, that's just something for witnesses to think about. And it's like, all witnesses they're investing all this time preaching, and we know preaching is not effective at all. People don't even join. Most people don't even join the Jehovah's Witnesses. The only people who become witnesses. So I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only people that become witnesses are people that are born in. Right?
We didn't have a choice.
Exactly. We didn't have a choice. Wait, you was born in too, bro?
I was born in too, yeah.
You was born, yeah.
Born in, yeah.
So exactly. We didn't have a choice. That's all we knew growing up.
It's something too. The preaching work now is all the way different now, ain't it? I remember when I was little, I remember them saying, basically, when the preaching is finished, that's when you know the end is here, right? Now,
when it's finished, right?
When it's finished, when they done with the door-to-door work and the preaching, that's when you know it's over with. And now the preaching is different now. I remember every year I would check the yearbook first I would check see how many people participated in the Passover, right? The memorial. I would check that number, but then I would check the number of hours spent in field service. And it was always, they always used to brag about it. It's over 1 billion hours spent in the preaching work. Now, I don't think that number's even counted no more because you don't even have to turn in time anymore.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Exactly. New light. More new
It's
light.
new light. You ain't got to turn in time. And these are all just business adjustments. That's all this is.
Exactly.
And it's all really to cover up the declining numbers. So
Yep.
instead of really giving out numbers now, let's just do some broad stuff and just talk about, you know, because I remember growing up too. When you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, witnesses were, man, the numbers were going up.
Oh,
You know,
hell
it
yeah.
was, I remember 3.5, 4 million witnesses to 6 million witnesses, 7. You
Yep.
know what I mean? I remember those
Exactly.
numbers. And for some reason, they ain't hit 9 or 10. They stay at 8. It stays supposedly it stayed like 8 million somewhere. And it's been there for a long time now.
Yeah, it's been stagnant for a while. You're right, but it hasn't increased or nothing like that. It's
No,
never
not at all.
it's never going to be 20 million Jehovah's Witnesses. Never.
No.
You
Only
know,
20
and
million you're gonna see is the attendance at the memorial worldwide.
exactly. That's it. That's
And
it.
that's pulling stragglers and stuff, trying to get people to come to this one occasion, which in my eyes, I'm not, you know, we talk about this, I'm not Christian or nothing like that. And people can be Christian, you can believe whatever you want, I don't care. But I believe if you are a Christian, Jehovah's Witnesses memorial celebration to me is like blasphemy or something. Like, if you really believe that, I think they do the opposite of what they're supposed to do when it comes to Jesus Christ.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, to not partake of the emblems is to
Exactly.
deny Christ, if you ask me. So if you're a
Exactly.
Christian and you passing it along, like, oh, we don't want to partake of this, you are actually denying Christ.
You're
And
rejecting. Yeah.
yeah, to me, is you know, it's got some, of course, you know, it got some dark roots and some dark ties. This religion does.
Oh,
So
hell yeah, bro.
yeah. When you really study the history, you can't really get access to a lot of old light no more. You know, they kind of cut that off. You got to go outside sources to get the old light now.
Exactly. Yep, you're right. You're right. I think one of the worst things about being a witness is the blood doctrine, bro. The no blood doctrine,
For
the
sure.
no blood rule.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. When I woke up, I realized, I said, hold on, this is dark and this is seriously dark and twisted. You're supposed to die instead of taking blood that could save your life. That's like a twisted, dark, spiritism type of demonic. Like when you really think about it, right? You say to yourself, what parent would allow their child to die for a paradise that they can't even prove 100% sure that's going to happen? Remember, it's all blind faith. It's all blind faith. So you're letting your child die for nothing, in essence, in vain. Bro, that's
Man.
dark. That is so
Ooh.
dark and satanic. It's not even funny, bro.
In my own opinion, I believe that is a form of blood sacrifice.
Yeah, it is.
That's how I kind of look at it. Especially when they had a magazine. I don't remember what year. I think it was in the 80s. They had a magazine with a collage of children's pictures on the
Oh,
front
I remember that.
cover.
Yeah,
And
shit.
these are real, not like artist illustrations. These are real kids. They're real photographs. And they made a collage of these kids who had all died because they refused blood, and they were being praised,
Yep.
like basically these are
That's
all
a
in
good
God's
thing.
memory, and they're all going to come back in the new system.
Wow.
And oh my God, man, that eats me up. That eats me up because there's when I remember doing research, I remember studying something about an old Jewish law in the Old Testament about, you know, they had the law, but when it came to saving a life, any law could be broken to save a life because it was more
Yep.
important to save that life. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yep.
So for witnesses to literally, and it's funny too because I remember the layout. I can't say it. Liaison committees they had, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Elders who would go to the hospital with friends who were about to have surgery. They were just police. They were just there to make
Yep.
sure you did not take a blood transfusion.
That's crazy,
That's
man.
what that
Whew.
really is, man. And you got to think the Bible writers, bro, when they wrote the Bible, whenever they wrote it, there was no technology about blood transfusion when they wrote that. There's no way in the world they intended for blood transfusion. But it's funny because you cannot have a blood transfusion, but later, if your conscience allows you, you can have fractions.
Accents, right?
You can
That's
have
right. Yeah.
fractions now, right? Of certain things that come from. So you can get medicine that's from donated plasma. But you better not go donate no plasma as a witness. You can't donate plasma. but you can accept medication from people who donate plasma.
That's true. Yep.
It's kind of I
It's a
compare it to,
contradiction.
it's a
Right?
contradiction, bro. It is. It's like either you can have blood transfusion or you can't. You know, when Adam and
Exactly.
Eve supposedly had this fruit, you know, if you believe in that story, and God said, don't eat the fruit from this one tree. Well, what if they found a way to extract maybe just the vitamin C from the fruit? They didn't eat the fruit, but they just had a
Exactly.
little, they extract. Would you think that'd be acceptable? Of course not. That,
Bro.
it's something, the contradiction, the hypocrisy, man. But you're right, the blood doctrine is, to me, that is very dark. That you want people to literally give up their lives. I had surgery twice. I had to get put under. One was for 2016 for a hip surgery, and
Yeah.
I remember them because that's the time I was a witness still, and I was actually, was I disfellowship still? I was disfellowship also in 16. So I believe I was still disfellowship, but I still was believing it because I was trying to come back. And 2016 was a big year for me. That was the year of surgery. My son was being born, and I was disfellowship and reinstated all in that year. And I remember for surgery, the doctor saying, so in case we have an emergency, you don't want any blood. You don't want any blood, you know. And I sat there and was like, nope. No
Damn.
blood. I don't want no blood. Nope. I remember the look he gave me. I'll never forget the look, kind of like I don't know what was in his mind, but you know, and I feel like he was looking at me like, you
This
sorry,
Jehovah Witness.
you know what I'm saying? Like, you lost kid. You know what I'm saying? That's how I felt. He was looking
Damn,
at me
bro.
like, you so lost, bro. But that's one of the, you're right, man. That's a big one, that blood transfusion doctrine. That's and not just that, the different doctrines when it comes to like organ transplant. You know,
Yeah.
at one time you couldn't have an organ transplant, and then later you could. Well, what
More
about the
new
people
light.
who died
Yep.
prior
Exactly.
to that?
Yep.
So what
Oh,
made you
sorry.
yeah, I know, right? Right. No, they're not gonna apologize. Yeah, they're not gonna do that one. They're not
That's
gonna
right.
do that.
You know, no apology is needed, necessary, right?
No. Mm-mm.
Bro, the audacity, the kahanas on these governing body leaders, bro. Like when I say that, they got some balls, and you know what? It's sad at this point. They can literally say anything and everything under the sun, and witnesses they don't even think twice. Like, bro, the whole beard. When I first heard about that, I couldn't believe that, bro. I couldn't believe that. Let me. You don't mind me sharing the story real quick?
Go ahead. No, feel free, bro. Yeah.
So when I was in Australia, the last time as a witness, right? I was trying to come. I was like inactive. I was trying to come back a little bit, you know, going to the meetings and whatnot out there. I think the year was 2019, right before COVID. I remember there was a brother, right? He had a beard like yours, bro, a thick beard, right?
Yeah.
And I said to him, I said one of my friends, I said, "Yo, he's a brother. He's studying. What's his story?" He said, "Yeah, he's a baptized brother. However, he can't shave at all because he would get bad acne, right, from shaving, whether it was
Right.
a straight razor or electric razor. He couldn't shave at all, right? So the elders were like giving him a hard time, but for some reason he got away with it, right? The Rick Ross beard, right? And I said, wow. And he told me, I spoke to him. He told me people were always like witnesses were always like challenge him. They would be like, oh, this got to be a way you could take that beard off, you know? And I wonder now that I'm out and now that the beard is allowed, I wonder what he thinks of it. All that
Right.
time, people were giving him a hard time, right? And now it's okay. Now it's okay.
That's a good one. Yeah. You wonder what his mindset is now. Yeah, that's a big one. To me, the beard, that was clear cut right there. I remember there's I'm from Ohio. I live in Georgia now, but back in Ohio, there's some family friends of ours who are still witnesses. The husband he's like what you call it? I don't know what to call it, lightweight witness. He still goes, but he really don't, you know.
Oh, he's not. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
baptized or no? Baptized.
Baptized and everything. Yeah, used to
Okay.
be a servant and all that stuff, but for years he hasn't. And he acknowledges a lot of stuff wrong with it, but to keep peace with the family, just kind of just go with the flow. I remember I told him about like what I believe they're going to be changing, and one of them was the beard rule. And he texted me after they changed the rule. He texted me and said, "You must be a prophet because we can wear beards now."
Oh my God.
I said, "No, man, that's crazy." I said, "Ain't it crazy that they changed?" I said, "Ain't no prophet in that, bro. It's just when you understand business and you understand that adjustments need to be made, then you can kind of predict the moves they need to make to keep the business going.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That's
Yep.
why now they have younger. I think the governing body members will continue to get younger. You know what I mean? They'll continue to get younger. That old school got to get out of it, because trying to retain young people now, because right now, man, I'm sorry, the internet is here, bro. Information's
Exactly. It's
here,
done.
and young people are not holding back from obtaining information.
Hell no, bro. Honestly, some people say that the org will never die, the watchtower will never fade away. But honestly, it's like the internet's a game changer, bro. You can't stop people from looking online. You can't.
Yeah.
And as time, more and more time passes, you're gonna have two different type of witnesses. You have witnesses that they're gonna be witnesses no matter what. Like, I hate to say it, but like somebody like my mom, I hope she wakes up. But when you've been doing the same routine day in and day out for 30, 40, 50 plus years, you know how hard it is to believe that, to fathom that, oh shoot, there's a possibility that what I believe in is a lie, that this could be false. No one wants to admit that, right? So they stay in their ways, even if they know deep down inside that something's a little off here, right? This it's not feeling like the truth. It's not feeling like the truth that we knew back in the day, right? And it's not, like, actually. But so you have those type of witnesses that's going to stay in it because they invested so much time in it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have people who eventually they're gonna get tired, but like, hey, they've been talking about the end for so long. I'm now in my 30s, 40s, 50s. Something feels off. Let me do my research. I'm having doubts. I feel like, bro, more and more people are gonna wake up. Like you said, the younger generation, they're already waking up. They're
Big
already
time.
waking up, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's like you said, a lot of them don't want to feel like, my mom's saying, wait, man, there's no, we can't have a regular conversation. I will say, and I'm so sorry that in your situation too, man, it's sad that this religion has families rejecting family members because they choose to not believe them or believe in these men up in New York whom you never met, and how they won't even accept phone calls from you and stuff like that, man. I really feel for you on that tip.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
will say my mom will take my calls, but we haven't talked in a while. It's just hard to talk. It's hard to have a conversation that's so surface level, because she's so deep into the religion and I'm so,
Exactly.
you know what I mean? And I'm so awake. It's hard to even have
A
communication.
regular conversation. Yeah,
Yeah, man, it's hard, man, because everything is la di da, on the surface, and we can't really have a real one, because I can't share with you, how hurt I've been and the trauma I'm going through and the healing process and the things I'm learning. You know what I mean? That's rough, man. It's rough, and a lot of people, like you said, they've given so much time and invested so much, they don't want to hear it. They don't hear nothing else because, like you said, deep down they know something might be right, but they don't even want to. They don't even want to look that way at all, because they don't want to feel like I've wasted my life on this.
that's crazy, bro. That
You
is
know?
nuts. See, people like me and you, right? We're realists. When we did our research, we realized something that's not right, and we woke up from this cult. Yeah, we could have went the other route. We could have just stayed in it for our family and friends, or former friends, whatever. But life is too short, bro.
Man.
Life is too short to not be authentic, you know? And speaking of which, I think I told you this already, but I want to say this on your channel, bro. I love
Yeah,
your
yeah.
channel. Some people have been hitting me up. Hey, Jeron, you know this guy, Tim? The new ex-witness, Tim? I said, yeah, I spoke to him.
Oh,
They said,
really?
oh,
That's what's
yeah,
up.
people love, my friends love your channel. They say, yo,
That's what's
we
up.
love your channel. But yeah, bro, you keep doing what you're doing. Seriously, you're making a huge impact in the community, bro. And
I
you just
appreciate
started.
it, man.
You just started.
I
You already made,
appreciate
you
it,
already
man.
rolling.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't
you
have no expectations, man. It's been something in me for a while now. It's like, because I've been on YouTube, and you were a big inspiration for me finally starting, because I've been debating it for a long time. And your realness and your rawness on your channel, I was like, man, I gotta do this. And I remember you
I
texting
appreciate
me
that.
when I
Thank you.
got your number. You texted me, you was like, bro, just start, just go, just do it.
Exactly.
So I had no expectations, but I feel like the more that speak out, the more it's almost like you have the witnesses preaching, then you have the ex witnesses or people activism over here, and it's getting louder and louder. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? It's getting louder
Yeah.
and louder, man, and it's making waves. We're making waves.
Bro, every week is a new ex-witness with a new story. I love it. I love it
Yeah,
because people, after a
yeah,
while, you're like, you know what? You said you like bump these people. If they feel a certain way about me speaking my piece, my story, that's on them.
yeah,
I'm not holding back.
yeah,
I'm not holding back. And you know what, bro? I don't mind being shunned by my family. Like, obviously, it hurts. That hurts. I may not ever speak to my mom, my two brothers ever again, you know. But at the end of the day, I'd rather be real, bro. I'd rather be real and be despised for me being authentic than, you know, love for being fake. I'm not doing that, bro. Life is too short. And I feel like I wasted so much time in the witness world not being authentic. Because remember, as a witness, you can't be authentic. You have to think, walk, talk just like everybody else.
Like a robot.
Yeah, you can't be yourself. Somebody, an ex-witness a while ago, they compared it to like a cookie cutter. That's the perfect illustration. It's a cookie cutter. You're exactly the same. You're exactly just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may have a little, you know, you may have a little different personalities from other people, but for the most part, you walk and talk, and even when you think about it, bro, when you enter the meeting, right, the Kingdom Hall, when you enter the Kingdom Hall, how do they greet you? Hey, how you doing? Hey, good to meet you. People don't talk like that in real life, right? Bro, anywhere else, if you put that anywhere else, like if you go to a new job, so hey, how you doing? You be like, whoa, back up! What the hell? You good, bro? Like people don't talk. It's all fake. It's a show. It's a front that they put on, right? But it's not genuine. They're not authentic. They're not real. So yeah, I don't mind being shunned for being real, for being authentic, bro. Like it hurts. It comes with a price. You know, being real comes with a price. But like I said, bro, life is way too short. And this is my thing, bro. Sorry, I'm going on a little tangent right now.
Man, you good, bro. You good.
But this is my thing. It's like when I woke up from the cult and I realized that I'm gonna die one day. Like, cause remember, my whole life I thought I was gonna be riding hyenas and lions in a new system, right? You think you'd be playing with animals in a new system. It's like when you realize you wake up, you realize that you're gonna die one day. It's like, oh shoot, my time on this earth is limited. So with that being said, I want to be as raw, authentic, and real as possible because I was fake as a witness. We all were, right? So I'm done with that fake nonsense. I'm done with that, bro.
Yeah. No, that's real right there, man. I feel like I'm so free. It's a process when you wake up and stuff, and you know I'm still doing it. You have to literally deprogram what you've been taught. But the great thing about the brain and the mind is that it is malleable, is the word I like to use. You can change your mind. You know, even a scripture that say transform your mind, be made over, something like that. You can literally change your programming. You can deprogram.
You could.
You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing I never was encouraged to do. Most witnesses aren't. When you grow up in this religion, you're never encouraged to find out your identity and who you are. So you never pour into yourself. You never give yourself credit for things. You always beating yourself down. You always feeling guilty. You're always feeling anxious. You're always feeling, you know, like you're doing something wrong and you undeserved of everything. And then any little thing you get is, oh, this is a little tidbit. Bliss must be from Jehovah. This is a blessing.
Exactly.
Or when something bad happened, I must not be doing enough. I got to pray some more, do some more field service or study. You know what I mean? Like they keep you so suppressed. So suppressed that you never know who you are. So when coming out of this religion, now I feel more free than ever. And I'm excited because I feel like I still have a lot more to learn about myself. But yet what I've learned so far is like, man, I'm pretty awesome at things. You know what I mean? I am this and I am that. Not in a conceited way at all, but we all need to have a level of self-confidence and self-esteem to be able to look in the mirror and say, I love you. I love that dude right there. You know what I mean? That is so powerful, but it's never encouraged. It's never encouraged because once you find out who you are and what you can be, what your abilities are and what you can do, because like you said, life is short. So you spent all that time giving all your energy and time to some men who you'll never meet, who's selling you them wolf tickets.
Pipe dreams, yeah, right?
Pipe dreams, yeah. Just keep going. Just stay in service. Just keep doing more.
Exactly. You know the analogy with the donkey and the carrot?
Oh, for sure.
Carrot?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it is, bro. Until the day you die. That carrot is dinging in front of your eyes until the day you die, you know? And it's like, what kind of life is that, bro? Like,
yeah. Life is short, man. And I think it's so much to do and so much to learn instead of believing in something that there's no proof. Like you said, there's no proof of any of this. No proof that there's going to be any kind of resurrection or a paradise earth. There's no proof of all that stuff, man. So right now, I don't believe if the God is, if you believe in God and you believe what all the attributes they say God is merciful and just and loving and all that, well, then guess what? I believe God wants you to be the best version of you. And then that's how you become closer to God. Whatever God is, be that best version of yourself.
Mm.
And that's how you find God. You don't need an organization to tell you if you can wear
Hell
a
no.
beard or not, or if you can wear pants or what kind of movies you can watch. Man, come on, man.
It's nonsense. Exactly, bro. You said it. You said it. And it's like, and to be honest, if you feel like you need religion to be a better person, then I feel like something might be wrong with you internally, right? Because I'm a damn good human being. I don't need no Bible, no religion to define me as a human being.
Right.
All you have to do is love yourself, love other people, be a good human being, try to help other people, try to excel, transcend as much as you possibly can, and just enjoy this life. Life is supposed to be enjoyed, not slaving for a damn man-made organization,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And sorry, bro, I never answered your initial question. I went on a tangent, but
Go ahead.
you asked me about my childhood growing up as a witness
Oh
and
yeah.
how's it like going out in service, right? Bro, service was horrible, especially as a young kid, bro. That was the worst. My mom she would wake me up in the morning, bro. Sometimes the sun wasn't even up.
The
Sometimes
early morning
it's
service.
and my mom, bro. My mom's one of these people who when she gets ready when she goes to the assemblies and conventions, she's there an hour before the doors open
Okay.
because she wants the best seats, right? The best
Okay.
seats in the house. So
Yeah.
she's like
Yeah.
waiting in the line. It don't matter if it's hot, summertime, hot, humid as hell. If it's freezing cold in the wintertime, she's there an hour before, waiting for those doors to open. I'm like, Mom, what do you want to hear the same information just like everybody else, right? You worried about seats. And it's sad what people do, the extent that they go to slave for this man-made organization, bro. It's sad.
I remember them seats thing, man. I remember they had a big deal about no saving seats, only for your
Yep.
immediate household. And I remember people at the front door, because I was there before too. And I remember people at the front, and when they open them doors,
They running, right?
oh man, they run. They
Bro,
are running, power walking, like
it's like
they
a
doing everything they can, about to knock each other over. It's like, where all this Christian love? What happened to this Christian? Man, look, it's watch out, they racing to get these best seats, man.
bro,
Yeah,
they act like it's Black Friday, like it's Best Buy.
that's the best way to do
Best
it.
Buy,
Black Friday.
right? Black Friday. You got the doors open, people running, they rushing.
Yeah, yeah,
And like,
yeah,
hold on, we rushing for what? To get some damn seats? To
yeah,
listen to a
yeah,
boring ass, like when you get down to the root of it, right? They rushing to get seats. To listen
yeah,
to a boring ass 8 hour meeting, conventional assembly, right?
yeah, yeah,
What you
yeah,
rushing for? To go to sleep?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bro.
What made you start? Like, what made you initially like, man, I'm gonna get on YouTube and I'm gonna start talking about my experience in this religion? What was the key factor to make that decision to get on here and start talking about it?
Honestly, bro, just to bring awareness to what's going on, bro.
Yeah.
To this organization, the corruption. I want to be a voice to help other people to be like, hey, listen, yeah, you could be shunned by your family just like I am. You could be falsely the fellowship just like I was. But it's time to take your power back because you have, like you said before, bro, you really don't have that much power. You can't give credit to yourself in that organization, right? So when you leave, you want to do the complete opposite. You want to take back your power because the elders feel like they could take your power away. Oh, we could the fellowship. We got the power,
Ooh.
right?
Mm,
Right. So
mm.
now, not only did I prove the elders wrong, right, and I played a reverse Uno on them, but I took back my power, and I'm using my voice as my way to say, you know what? No, you can lose it all, but you can still shine. I lost my family, and bro, you see me. I'm a traveler. I'm always traveling, right? I got friends everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but I know people pretty much in different parts of the world, right? Different
Yeah.
continents and whatnot. And I'm
Yeah.
living my life authentically. Yeah, I lost my family, but it's not the end of the world. Life goes on, and I want people to see that, and that's why I started making videos. I just want people to see that you can blossom, you can still live after the Rothschild. Life is just beginning, actually.
Yeah. That's real, man. There's a quote, I can't remember word for word, but basically be true to thyself. and then you can't be false to no other man. I don't know if that was Shakespeare or somebody or what, but that quote always stuck with me, that if you are true to who you are, it comes at a cost, like you said.
Yep.
You know what I mean? But then,
But it's worth it.
but
It's
it's
worth it
worth
though.
it. Who wants to
Yep.
live life when you can't be your real authentic self? Like,
That's
what
not
kind of life
living.
is that? That's not living.
Exactly.
That's
No, that's not
existing.
living.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Barely
So,
at that.
and I know it's hard because lately I've been getting emails from people who are and DMs from people who are, they know the truth about the religion. They know it's false and don't believe in it, but they can't openly come out for fear they lose their friendships and relationships, and you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so is it is encouraging. It's good to hear that people are waking up, but it's also disappointing to know that they can't be who they really are because of the religion. It still
Yeah.
has a bit of a control over
Yeah.
their life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you know, like there's a sacrifice, bro. There's a sacrifice with it. Me right now, you know, my family's in limbo. My kids are always gonna be my kids, and I'm always telling the truth. But my marriage is in limbo because primarily because of the religion, because it's hard. I've gotten some great advice from some other people who made it work, and you know, trying to wake a spouse up. But um, man, it feels so freeing to be out of the religion and know who you are and what you want to do with your life. Like you said, you traveling the world, seeing different places, man. And how is that too, man? How is it to be free now traveling without the mental constraints?
Bro, I love it, man. I love it because before I was always a traveler, but
Okay.
it's different when you're traveling as a witness compared to traveling
Yeah.
as a free individual, right? Because as a witness, you know, they say that, oh, you got this brotherhood, this worldwide brotherhood. They say that, right? And uh, to an extent, you do. I mean, because if you could pick up and go to any country or just about any country, and there's witnesses, it is a form of a brotherhood, but it's not a real brotherhood. You still
Mhm.
can't be yourself. You know, it's not because as we know, the minute you start to express your doubts or your concerns, that brotherhood is out the window.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That brotherhood is out the window. And bro, when I hang off my friends overseas, they don't care we could drink without worrying. So, I mean, I'm at to post them to the elders. My friends could smoke in front of me. Like, I don't care about none of that stuff. Like, I learned to love people for who they are, you know, and not for what they believe in.
No
And
doubt.
bro, there's so many good-hearted people in this world, man. I am truly grateful, bro. I met so many good-hearted people in this world, and you know, like I said, I love them for who they are, and vice versa, bro. They love me for who I am, and it's such a free feeling when you don't have to filter. I mean, you could literally do whatever you want under the sun, and like I said, as long as you're a good person, you know, these people will still love you. And it's not like that as a witness, bro. You could be a good person, but the minute they find out you having doubts or you're not a baptized witness, they want nothing to do with you. And I'm done with that superficial fake nonsense, bro. I'm done.
No, that's real too. That was I can relate to that. But it's something how I used to view people. When I woke up, I made a few phone calls, some relatives, and I said,
Mm,
"Hey, man, hey, cuz man, I gotta apologize to you. I'm sorry, bro. Like I shunned you back when you know you didn't even see me, but I was avoiding you because you was in fellowship." And they're like, "Oh man, you know you good, man. You know you that's what you knew. You just following the, you know what I mean." But I felt like I had to get that off my chest because I felt like it was just wrong to do, and
yeah,
viewing people that's not in a religion that's like just not scum, but like you know, basically like, oh no, you just don't know. You know what I
bad
mean? It's just
association.
you
Yeah,
have this
yep,
attitude of like you kind of above everybody because you believe that
yep,
all y'all about to be wiped off the face of the earth, and I'm gonna be here standing. So all the stuff
yep,
you believing and telling me is all hogwash. When I ain't did no real research on what I believe myself, I'm just doing. I'm just basically a echo chamber for what I was taught, for what I was told, without no research. I didn't dig into it. I just did it because I was told and just echoed it. But now,
exactly.
like you, I've met some awesome people, like real good-hearted people. I had one lady pray with me once, and again, I'm not religious or nothing like that no more. This
Mm,
lady prayed with me, man, about a year or so ago, one of my clients, and it gave me tears, bro. It did. Because her intentions.
yep,
It was her intentions. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And
Yep,
people who really care about you, like, hey, you need anything? Just give me a holler. And like you said, they don't care about what you believe. They don't care about what you
Okay.
believe. They looking
Yep,
at you for who you are and your heart and your intentions. That's what they care about. They don't care about all the other stuff.
exactly. And that's how it should be, bro. That's exactly how it should be. You just said something. I want to add to it. How? Oh yeah, when you're a witness, you're looking down on everybody like, oh, you're about to die, so I'm not gonna hang out with you anyway, right? But you know what's funny? When you wake up, you realize it's actually the opposite. These people, the worldly people, they're living their lives. The witnesses, they're gonna die without ever being true to themselves. It's crazy. It's the reverse in real life. You know, as a witness, like I said, you think
It
you're better than
is.
everybody, but
Yeah.
I'm not saying worldly people are better than witnesses, but I'm saying
Right.
they're living their life. At least we're living our lives. Witnesses, they're not doing it. They're slaves
Yeah.
to a man-made organization to the day that they die. What life is that?
Yeah.
What kind of life is that?
Right. When you think back on it, man, it makes sense because when I think back on overall, not everybody, I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I could probably give you more who were than what who were not. And that is depressed, alcoholic, obese, like
Yeah.
they on this wheel, man. Seriously, they're on this wheel where, and again, I ain't gonna make a blanket statement, but alcoholism is a big thing for me
Oh hell
growing up
yeah.
around Jehovah's Witnesses. Alcohol was big.
Mm,
Drinking was like the norm. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, but like health, working out, that's not the norm. Taking
Hell
care of
no.
your body is not the norm. The norm is let's go eat and let's drink and let's get together, and then we're gonna get up for the meeting tomorrow. We're gonna go out in service and we're gonna do this other stuff. But since we all stuck in here together, let's just try to make the best of it, not knowing that you trying to escape, really, not
Exactly.
realizing it, but you're really trying to escape. That's why you indulge in food and alcohol like you do. That's a
Yeah.
big problem I see with a lot of witnesses. Not, and again, I'm not speaking for every one of them, but that to me, for me coming up, my experience is seeing a lot of that in my community of witnesses.
Yeah. It's true, bro. Everybody wants that. They want to escape a little bit, and um, because deep down inside, I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like deep down inside, every witness, they know damn well Paradise should have been came a long time ago. Especially the ones who's been in for like over 30 years. You know, deep down inside, that hold on, we endured 9/11, we endured COVID, all these wars, earthquakes. The Bible said that when all these things take place, the end will come. So where's the end? So I feel like you said, bro, it is an escape. It's an escape, but deep down inside, they know something's up. They know Paradise should have been happened a long time ago. You
Oh
know?
yeah. Oh yeah. Especially when they predicted it, especially the older ones. That's why I'm surprised. People who are in their 70s, 80s, even 60s, like you've seen a lot of changes. And you know, even though they don't talk about it, you know a lot about the history. Excuse me, you
Yeah.
know a lot about the history of the so-called end being here at any minute. I remember conventions, man, crying at the end on Sunday and everybody clapping,
Oh my
everybody
God,
hugging each
yeah.
other because it's like this might be the last time we meet together. This
Yep.
could be the last convention. But guess what? Man, they got 5 conventions, 10 conventions planned already for the future. They got real estate investments planned for the future.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Why they telling you just live a simple life, don't get no higher education, just be simple, you know, and still donate your money. Even though we want you to live simple, we still want you to donate your time and money and energy.
Right. It just it makes no sense at all. It makes no sense. And it's crazy. The mindset of a witness, bro. It's like when you wake up, you're like, wow, I can't believe I really thought like this. Like
Yeah.
for instance, the whole no pursuing higher education, no going to college or having type of any trades. Um, where's the logic in that? How you tell somebody not to pursue a higher education so you could better yourself, right? And they say, oh no, the end is right around the corner. But then you could say to them, haven't you guys been saying this for like 150 years? What corner are we talking about? The longest corner I've seen in my life. And it's around the corner for 150 years. So when they tell people not to pursue a higher education, it's like, and then witnesses they really believe in it. Oh no, we don't. Yeah, we won't go. No, we don't. And it's right around the corner. We're not going to go to school. It's like, why? So you want to have a mediocre job and struggle for the rest of your life?
Yeah. Yeah. You think about how many lives have been impacted from this religion from the let's say 1950s up till now. That's about 75 years. how many lives have been impacted negatively because of the rules. They just say the man-made rules about not living your life, not getting higher education. You know, of course, for 1975, a lot of people, you know, they
They
cashed out their
dipped.
retirements,
Yeah.
sold their
Oh man.
homes. You know what I mean? Then they struggled, and then they were never able to. Guess what? Now their kids and grandkids don't have much because of what they took out their investments
That's
that was supposed
crazy.
to go on for the next generation, but it didn't happen. It didn't
Mm,
happen.
mm, mm.
Man, man, I enjoyed this conversation, man. I really did.
Yeah, bro.
For
Thank you
those
for
of
having me.
you, yeah, man, for sure, man. And this ain't the last time. I kind of want to create a regular thing with maybe even a forum with witnesses who are ex-witnesses. And I don't even like too much to use the title ex-witnesses because it still kind of feel like it's a whole free people. Let's just say free
Yeah.
folks now. You
Yeah,
know what I
people.
mean?
Yeah.
We're not just ex-witnesses, we free people, man.
Exactly.
But
Living
now
our
I'll create
lives.
a
Yeah.
forum where people can express themselves and hopefully current witnesses, whether they PMEs or PMOs, you know, just use critical thinking skills, use logic, ask questions, and really try to be objective when asking these questions. Like, does this really make sense? Does the
Mm,
creator of the whole universe, if you believe in God, and I'm not saying whether you should or shouldn't, but if you believe in a God and a creator, do you really believe that it would be using this organization with all its changes, all its contradictions, over, you know what I mean, over a century? Do you think he's really behind it and leading these people? Or
mm,
is it just some men who are just making adjustments to the business as the business goes along, man?
mm. Yep.
I
You're right,
appreciate you,
bro.
man. Jeron, man, thanks for being on, man. I want to hold it
And
too
thank you,
long.
bro.
You know, it's
Yes,
getting
sir,
late,
bro.
you
I
know.
enjoyed it. Yeah, I know. I know. It's later over here. Bro, I
Yeah.
enjoyed this. So seriously, yeah. Definitely
Yeah, I
do it
really
again
did
soon, man.
too, man. If there was a last comment or question or something you want to leave with the audience,
Yeah.
what, you know, what would it be?
So just to piggyback what you said too, bro. I just want to encourage Jehovah's Witnesses to think long term. And this is the sad part. They
Mhm.
fail to think about the what ifs. What if paradise don't come in the next 50 years? Are you mentally, emotionally, financially prepared for that? Because a lot of witnesses, they really believe that the end is right around the corner. And you have to keep in mind, think about all the people from the last century. Every Jehovah's Witness that was born, let's say, back in 1925, a century ago, right? They had the same mindset as you. The end is right around the corner, any day now. And where are they now? Where are those people now? You know, so I know it's not easy for witnesses to do, but we need to think long term and think about what if. Because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of elderly people, a lot of elderly Jehovah's Witnesses who are at 70 plus, and they, when they were young, they thought that paradise was right around the corner, and now they see the reality of the situation. So, yeah, I just want to encourage witnesses to think long term and do your research. You cannot fail if you do your research. Remember, the truth should be scrutinized and questioned. Doubt it, and it should still be the truth at the end of the day. But the fact that your leaders are telling you not to do your research, not to look at outside material, that should be a huge red flag for any witness. And that's all I got to say, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. I thank you, man. Yeah, the truth don't mind being scrutinized and examined, but lies don't like to be challenged.
That's right. Amen to
Hey,
that.
man, appreciate it, Jeron. Man, stay up, bro. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I love your channel. For those who don't know, I'm gonna put a link in the
Oh, yeah,
description to
thank you.
Jeron's channel, so they
Appreciate
can
that.
go check out his story. Like I said, it was instrumental in me waking up. Not waking up. I'm sorry. I had been woken up. His channel was instrumental in me getting on YouTube and talking and expressing and bringing awareness to the leadership, the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses, and the crimes being committed by them and the manipulation that they continue to use on people, man, and controlling people's
Yep.
minds and lives. So, man, thank you, man. Stay up, bro, and we're gonna chop it up soon, man.
All right, Sam. Thank you, bro.
All right, for sure.
All right. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. It was a pleasure to sit down with Mr. Jeron and really get his thoughts and perspectives on things. It really lends to the community of people who have left to help share their stories and also what's going on with the governing body of Jehovah's Witnesses and the tactics that's used to keep people under their control. If you'd like to share your story, please reach out to me. My email is in my channel description. Until next time, y'all, hey, stay free from them cults. Peace.